My name is Brian Corcoran, and I am one of the directors of the Chamber of Commerce. Every so often, we like to take a look at our bylaws, and in this case, the bylaws are actually about 7 or 8 years old. So it's a good idea every so often to take a look back and see what can be updated and modernized to reflect the current direction that the Chamber is taking. So the bylaws are modernized in a couple of different areas. One, we kind of look at where the chamber is today versus where it was maybe say 7 or 8 years ago. And it's important to consider the interests of the members and how we like to project our policies going forward. And we like to reflect that in the bylaws themselves. Current restriction on membership in the bylaws prevents religious organizations from becoming a member, and we thought it would be more important and inclusive to remove that restriction so that religious organizations can become non-voting members of the chamber. Member voting rights, and this is a really important issue in terms of what's really the best practice, and we felt as a board that it was appropriate that we remove the tiered voting structure. Currently, the bylaws provide that based on the size of an organization, you can have anywhere from 1 to 4 votes. And we thought as a board that it would be more democratic that we changed this so that each voting member has 1 vote. So it's 1 vote per member, and there is no longer a tiered voting structure. Currently, the board is made up of officers and directors, and that composition won't change per se. We also have ex officio directors that are chosen by the chairman of the board, and we want to keep that membership or that composition the same, but we needed some flexibility. So going forward, it was important to say that the board will be made up of a minimum of 8 directors, and with the exact number to be determined by the board themselves. So in essence, every year there's a nominating committee that accepts applications for board directors, and they vet these applications and come up with a list and present that list to the members at the annual general meeting. And that's the slate of directors that the members currently will vote on and elect as their directors of the Chamber of Commerce. We have had the provision to allow members to nominate a prospective director from the floor. And in order to be fair to all parties, we thought it would be more appropriate that nominations from the floor be removed, but we still allow for individual members to present themselves in writing prior to the annual general meeting if they would like to be considered and voted upon as a director of the chamber. So we're still allowing people to write in and put their name forward to become directors of the chamber, but we would like all members to know in advance who the potential options are, so they have the opportunity to do some due diligence and some reading on these potential directors and vote with all information in hand. The fiscal year, which represents the financial year end of the Chamber of Commerce, and currently we have it set in the bylaws as April, and we thought it was important and it creates a little bit more flexibility that the members will choose the fiscal year at each general meeting, and that just creates a little bit more flexibility rather than a prescriptive year end of April in each given year. So going forward at the annual general meeting, the members will actually approve the date and fiscal year end. Similarly, the AGM of the chamber was within the bylaws set as a prescriptive date, and we thought it was important that the date of the AGM be able to move and reflect the will of the members. And going forward, we would propose that the annual general meeting will likely be held early in the new year following a fiscal year end of December 31st, which would probably put the annual general meeting in February or March of each given year. At the end of the day, the chamber is here for its members, and the members need to approve all changes to the bylaws of the Chamber of Commerce. So we have to go back to our membership and say, here's what we feel is in the best interest of the chamber, but we need the members to approve those changes.